So maybe you've lost your Kylie Jenner to your Jordan Woods, or maybe you've lost your Jordan Woods to your Kylie Jenner. I'm here to get you through that with 5 tips over how to get through, because we don't get over things, we get through them. Your friendship breakup. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and I'm back here today with a video on friendship breakups. It's strange losing someone that's living because they're still here, they're still alive, they're still on this earth, so it's an entirely different grieving process. I am here to attest to the fact that friendship breakups can be just as difficult and as heart-wrenching as romantic breakups. It doesn't always have to be dramatic as well. So whether someone did you dirty, maybe the dynamic was just toxic, or maybe you just outgrew each other. So number 1 is to cry, to feel sad, to wallow in your pity, do whatever you need to do, but let your emotions go. It's cathartic. Like going through a breakup, you need to allow yourself to go through the motions of the emotions. Have a period to just let all of that out. If there are people to support you through that, even better. But you definitely need to go through the initial grieving process. Okay, number 2, to get through your friendship breakup, I would say communicate. And that means reach out or be transparent. By reaching out, I mean that if someone has kind of ghosted you or like broken up with you in a friendship way and you don't know the reasons as to why that is, I would say extend your arm out and just be willing to hear them out. If you can't communicate directly, then try to communicate through mutual friends, but be careful with that because it will link to another point that I have about mutual friends. That goes hand in hand with the other part of that, which is be transparent. So if you're the one breaking up with someone, I think that you need to not ghost them. You need to not just disappear out of their lives. You need to not just be like bye. This depends on how long you've been friends or how close of friends you were. It's just not very nice. You do need to be transparent, otherwise you'll leave that person toiling over what's happened. Just telling them your reasons as to why you don't want them in your life anymore, whether that be I think I've outgrown you, or you think that the dynamics just isn't working, or whatever it is. You just need to be transparent with people. If they do ultimately refuse to communicate with you and you've reached out, or they haven't been transparent, then those are the things where you need to just put it to bed, and that links onto another point I'll also say later on. So number 3 is, if the friendship breakup was petty and messy, if you're the person that's been like betrayed, I would just be like, try to be amicable, try not to be messy in that you drag all of your mutual friends into it and get them involved so that they turn on the person that you're beefing with and they have to pick a side. Obviously you may trust and confide in certain friends that happen to be mutual friends. I think there's no need to drag everyone into it, because then that can put into question what your goals are in terms of, are you really upset that you've been effed over by this person, or do you just want to like ruin them or something? Obviously this is kind of all relative and it's really general advice and depends on what has happened and what's taken place. But if you do confide in mutual friends, just remember that this person was once your friend and once someone that you respected enough to have around you and in your circle and in your energy. So try to be mature about it as possible. Also, this is important because should the friendship be repaired down the line, you don't want it to have been like
you did all of this stuff, or
when you repair it then someone's coming to tell you that
this person said this about this and this, and because this person was involved in this now, this and this,
and it creates new problems. So you just want to go about it as amicably as possible. Getting through a friendship breakup actually involves being careful about how you handle it. I would say personally, this is a reason why I have different friends for different things and different people that I'm close to that aren't mutual, because things in the context of mutual groups can get really messy and really petty. It kind of goes along the lines of different seasons for different reasons, or different reasons for different seasons. I don't know what the quote is, but along those lines. You need to get to a stage where you realize that it's okay for people to enter and leave your life. you have to have a core of acceptance that people may not be there permanently. And I really like that Lauren London said, that Nipsey Hussle said, that you don't possess people, you experience them. And that's such a beautiful way to put. This may also mean that you spend time with other friends, or you get to know yourself more, or you get to reflect on the aspects of yourself that you didn't like about that dynamic, or the aspects of the other person that you didn't like about that dynamic. Reflect on what were you doing as friends. Were you was all you did gossip or talk about other people? Did you actually help each other to reach your goals? And did you support each other? And were you there for each other? All of these things you want to reflect on, so that going forward you know how to be a better friend to other people, and you know the kind of friends that you want in your life. People outgrow each other, and that's okay. Honestly, I believe that some friendships can teach us more about ourselves than ourselves can teach us about ourselves. Number 5 of getting through a friendship breakup is something that Sincerely Orosa recently put on her Instagram story, which was that you actually need to accept that sometimes you're not going to get closure. Why? Which is a very normal human things to do. Human beings like to have reasons for things, and we all live lives in search of reasons for being. And so one of the things you'll naturally want to do is think it over and over and over. If you're one of those people that like to overthink like me, or like to run the event or what happened over and over and over through your head, sometimes you need to accept that actually you're not going to figure out why that person did that. You're not going to figure out why they screwed you over. You're not going to figure out why they've stopped talking to you sometimes. There needs to be an understanding that you just may not get the closure from the person. So going back to point number 2, that person may not be transparent with you and reach out to you and say what happened, or you reach out to them and that person may not respond to you or want to talk to you to amicably deal with things. And so you need to be okay with knowing that you might not get the closure that you were looking for, but that won't stop you from doing step number 4, which is building your core acceptances and doing some deep reflection over the kind of friends you want and the kind of friend that you want to be. I told you in my previous video that second year was a time where you just learn a lot about friendships. It teaches you a lot about friendships because you're not necessarily in a high school position where you're kind of friends with people because of the circumstance you're in and because of the context you're in, and it's not like first year where you kind of gravitate to people quickly because of, again, the circumstances you're in, and that this is all new to everyone, so everyone kind of rushes to make friendships. So you actually do get a chance to think things through and to choose your friends, if that makes sense. I have been able to reflect and just see, even for myself, that I could be a better friend, because it's not always the case that someone does you dirty. You may be the one doing people dirty. So it really does give you some time to reflect on that and to make yourself humble. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please do let me know if you have any other tips for other people down in the comments as to how to get through friendship breakups and how you've navigated a friendship breakups, whether you've been the one to do someone dirty or whether someone's done you dirty. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Bye.